Hey y'all. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I'm being rude right now. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Keviahwatrice. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here on my channel. So we haven't had like one of these videos in a minute. Like, let me actually see how long ago it was, y'all. I told y'all I haven't been able to do sit down videos with y'all because I just don't have really the opportunity. You know, the kids is being homeschooled now and everything. So that video 2 months ago, and that was when I did a Q&A. So it's been a little minute, you know, it's been a little minute. It feels like longer than 2 months, honestly, if I can just keep it real with y'all. But hopefully I can crank out some videos for you guys. So if you do have sit down video talk suggestion videos, please leave them in the comments because I want to get a lot of content cranked out so that I can take a break soon from work. Okay, so in today's video we're going to be talking about how to really like stop yourself from getting overwhelmed, because for one, it's not healthy. It is not healthy for your physical body. It's not healthy for your mental well-being, your emotional well-being. It's just not healthy, sis. And I learned the hard way when it comes to stuff like that. And I know I can't be the only one that tends to get really worked up, overwhelmed, stressed out. So I wanted to create this video in hopes that what I have done will work for someone else as well. Just to give you guys some information on me. Yes, I do tend to get worked up very easily. I stress myself out. I get overwhelmed. I have come a long way, I will say that, and my faith really helps me with that, but I still do have some moments where I'm not going to hold y'all, like I can run myself into a mental trap due to just like overthinking and doing stuff that I'm not supposed to do, you know. So we working on it and we have come a long way. I'm going to pat myself on the back because I do have to acknowledge my growth. But for those moments that do come, I kind of wanted to give you guys some pointers on what has worked for me. I can say that I am in a much better space right now, but you know, I also do have my moments. Tip number one is to reevaluate your schedule, right? Take a step back and reevaluate and figure out if your schedule is even working for you. Is the schedule that you have, is it honoring you showing up as your best self? Is it honoring like your overall well-being? So to give you a little bit of background, prior to changing up my schedule, I was very consumed with this idea that I had to be up at 5 a.m. and I had to be praying to God at 5 a.m. Then I had to hop into my work and I had to be done with work by a certain time. Like, it was just very unhealthy. I know they say early bird gets the worm, and you know, you have to be up before everybody else, work after everybody else stops working, like that whole just work mindset. That's great, right? It sounds great, and that's great for the people who, you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. For me, I found that I was kind of obsessing over the idea of it, and it wasn't really working for me. I was trying to get up at 5 and I was failing miserably at that. So then I started getting up at 7 and still just not feeling like I was showing up as my best self, or that I had got enough rest, or even feeling motivated in the morning. And that may have to do with the fact that I'm not really a morning person, but it wasn't working for me. And I had to let go of that unhealthy mindset that I had to be up like at 5 and I had to have my quiet time at 5 and I had to start working by 7, and I had, like, I don't know, I think it was just me obsessing over things that you see experts say on the internet, and you know, just all that type of stuff. So I reevaluated and I said, hey Kev, you know, you're not really a morning person. This is not really working for you. And even when you do get up by a decent time in the morning, I was so tired after like 2 hours. I would start work and then like 2 hours later I would need a nap. Like, I was feeling burnt out after doing like little things, and to me that wasn't like, I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? So I took a step back and I really reevaluated my schedule. I said, okay, you're not really a morning person. So what can we do to make this schedule work so that you show up as your best self, so that you feel creative, you feel motivated, and you're able to show up for your best self, one, for yourself in your spiritual life and in your business? Because I was lacking all the way around when I was trying to uphold this I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. I know what it is, but I can't think of it. I was just trying to uphold this, like, I don't know, this lifestyle that wasn't really working for me. Like, I am not your 5 a.m. girl. I'm sorry, that's not me. Now, if God calls me and he tells me, hey, in this one season, I need you up by 6, I need you doing this and doing that, that may change. But in this season right here, that ain't what he's telling me to do. So in my old schedule, I would wake up, I would have my quiet time, I would go to maybe Dunkin' or Starbucks, get some breakfast, get some coffee, and get right to work. So now my new schedule, I'm up usually by like 8:39. And I have a lot more just extended me time in the morning. So I get up, I, you know, do my hygiene stuff, everything that I have to do in the morning. I read my plans, I journal, I listen to music, I stretch. Oh my gosh, I started stretching in the morning and it just feels good. It feels like my body's waking up, like I'm drinking a good cup of water in the morning to really get my organs to wake up, in my body, and you know, all the stuff in my body just to wake up. I honor myself as a human being in the morning now. Before, I felt like I was just rushing, like trying to do this, trying to rush my quiet time, trying to figure out what I got to do for the day. Like everything was just work consumed. And now, like, of course work is extremely important to me, but I shifted to really feed myself in the morning, because I know that if I don't feel good, that can be shown in my work. You know what I mean? And because I'm an entrepreneur and a lot of what I do requires either me pouring from a spiritual place or a mental creative place. So Kevia has to be right, or it's going to like show up, or I'm going to procrastinate, or I'm just not going to be in the mood to do anything. And that was not healthy for me as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as a woman, as a human. It wasn't working. So like I said, I get up around 8:39 and I don't start work until 12 o'clock. Okay, now whatever I do between the time I wake up and 12 o'clock depends on how I feel. Now what I do, I get up, like I said, I stretch, I do all my hygiene stuff, and I actually been cooking myself breakfast. So I've been making myself turkey bacon, I've been boiling my eggs, having my avocado toast, and it's like a lot healthier too. Like I'm putting better things into my body rather than running and getting a bacon processed cheese croissant from Dunkin' Donuts. I'm actually making and I'm cooking for myself, and I'm enjoying my breakfast rather than scuffing it down and then going to do work. I just had to reevaluate everything. Okay, so usually I'll get up, if I have errands to run, I'll like run those errands before 12 o'clock. I'll have my quiet time. I will actually get dressed for the day, and you know, maybe sometimes put on a little bit of makeup and do my hair. And it's just like when you feel good, you look good, and able to show up better for all the things that I do. So that was a lot, I know, but that is step one, really to reevaluate, y'all. Is your schedule that you currently have, is it working for you? Like, it's okay to readjust. It's okay to put some stuff on the back burner. It's okay to switch it up so that you can show up as your best self. And so for me, I don't start work till 12 o'clock. That works for me. If I start like 30 minutes early, like, that'll be okay, but I usually don't start more than 30 minutes early. Kevia starts, this brain starts getting into everything at 12 o'clock. And I found that my peak hours of me actually feeling creative and into my work, my brain is better around like 12 to 3. That's my crunch time hours. The morning, it wasn't working for me, sis. But take a step back, reevaluate, and see if you just flat out need to completely switch up your schedule. I know number one was a lot. Number two is brain dumping, okay? So this is more so into, you know, that whole overwhelmed, stressed out thing. I do so many things, y'all, like so many things. I hold a lot of titles, I wear a lot of hats. Sometimes I can get overwhelmed or I can get stressed out if I feel like one thing is getting more attention than the other and I'm slacking and I'm falling behind. I just have a lot on my mind, like all the time, a million tabs open. So brain dumping is essential to me in this season that I'm in, especially when I feel myself getting worked up. If I feel like I'm comparing my journey to someone else's journey, like I'm lacking and I should be further, or if I just feel like, hey, I have a lot to do this week and I'm thinking about everything right now, so let me go get a piece of paper and let me brain dump. And I'll just write out literally everything that is on my mind, every task that I have to do, and I'll dump it out. So now it's like, it's on paper, I've got it out and I've released it. I don't necessarily have a plan on how I'm going about it yet, but I wrote it out and I'm not stressing about it. So if you decide to brain dump and then figure out, okay, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? You can do that as well. Like maybe have a line for your brain dump and then another line for, okay, when are we going to do this? But all in all, brain dumping is very essential. I feel like for people who get overwhelmed, you have a lot to do, there's a lot on your mind, you definitely want to get into brain dumping. If it's like a spiritual thing like that you're stressing or overwhelming about, or like a mental thing, like what I like to do when I brain dump, if I have things on there, like let's say I'm thinking crazy right now because I am comparing myself to someone else. When I brain dump, if it's something like comparison, or I feel behind, or I don't feel worthy or adequate, if something like that is on my brain dump list, I'll go back and I'll ask myself, okay, Kevia, what is the root of that? Because you guys hear me say this a lot, I believe everything has a root. So I have comparison on my brain dump list. Why do I feel like that? Like what was the root of that thought of me comparing myself, right? And maybe it'll be like, hey, I was scrolling on such and such's Instagram and I seen all the amazing things she was doing this week, and that made me feel like I had to compare myself to such and such. And then I'll be able to find the root of that and go back, and I'll be able to pray about it. I'll be able to release envy and jealousy and comparison and things like that. So also review that list, and if there's anything that you feel like has a root, you definitely want to try to get to the bottom of it. So number 3, this one is really important and something that I am kind of in the midst of doing, and that is delegating. Delegating is so hard for me, I think, because like I said, I do so much and I'm used to like just having full control of everything that I do. Like I feel like I have to micromanage, especially the things that are important to me. And I feel like that's normal because when you're building businesses, you're building a brand, like that becomes your baby, you know. But it comes a point in time where you're not letting your baby go, but you're allowing people to come. It takes a village, right? So you're allowing other people to come in and help you raise this baby, scale, you know, this business, scale this brand and help it grow. So that's a hard one for me, like letting people in. But I'm at the point, y'all, where I need help. So I actually have a few meetings coming up for you know, looking at some personal assistants and filling them out and see if they're a good fit. I know I'm going to need a team soon for my mobile app company because it is a lot of work and I'm just going to need help. So delegating is extremely important. I know sometimes you know, it may not be in your budget. Like me, I don't know if a personal assistant is in my budget, but we're gonna have to, you know, pull together and make some things work because I need it. Another thing that you can do if it's not in your budget is get some interns. The She Was Called mobile app, I have about 3 interns and they are all college students. So that's usually a good way to like cut costs, but make sure that they're able to do what you need them to do. So definitely delegating has been tough for me because I don't want to let go, but I have to tell myself, you're not letting go, you're letting in help. So yeah, but delegation is extremely important. So if there's a lot on your plate, see what you can delegate and go from there. All right, so my last tip is talk yourself through, okay? If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, just like too much, you have to start practicing talking yourself through instead of thinking yourself through. And I say that because a lot of the times, like, it only takes one thought. One thought turns into a billion other thoughts, and then it's like you just spiraled yourself into a situation that basically isn't even going to happen. So I recommend people to talk yourself through your thoughts instead of thinking yourself through it. So again, this kind of goes back to brain dumping. Whenever I'm feeling a certain way, like I'll be like, okay, Kevia, and I'll actually say that, okay, Kev, like, why do you feel this way? Get to the root of it. But talking yourself through, even when like you need to kind of remind yourself of who you are, like actually vocally put those things out there, vocally say things to uplift yourself, to remind yourself of who you are in those times when you're feeling just stressed out, overwhelmed, and over it. You know, the Bible says that the power of life and death is in our tongue, it's in your mouth, right? So you have the power to speak life to yourself, or you can speak death. So I just want to encourage you guys to get more consistent in vocalizing a better mindset, you know. So for me, like, I'll affirm myself all the time. I actually started listening to like positive affirmations on YouTube and stuff. I don't really listen to the ones that say things about like the universe and stuff, but there is a really good one that I like. Maybe I'll put it in the description. Something that aligns itself with what I actually believe in and what I'm believing for. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you can take some of these tips and that they work for you. Remember, sis, it's not the end of the world. Everything is figure outable, and God is your help and your source. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.